This is wild. Lakers trade talks are intensifying right now, and one of their favorite targets, someone who they have been having their eye on for the last handful of seasons, could be available and could completely change the trajectory of the Los Angeles Lakers season. We're going to go over who that player is, why he's a perfect fit for the Los Angeles Lakers, and how the Lakers can potentially get the deal done. And welcome to Lakers Digest here, guys. My name is Hunter, where we cover everything surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers. If you are new to the channel, what's going on? Thanks for coming on. If you're a returning member, we appreciate your support always. But we have a very, very important milestone to go over with you guys. We just reached 5,000 subscribers. I was harping on this all month long. We wanted to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of January, and we get it even a few days before. So the fact that we got over 1,000 subscribers from the start of 2025 to the new year, guys, that really does mean a lot to us here on Lakers Digest. It's not just me. It's my co-hosts, Okechi Apakaba and Nick Goss as well. We work tirelessly around the clock to get you guys all the coverage you need surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers, and we put our heart and souls into this channel. So the fact that you guys are also a part of this journey with us, we're doing this all together, we really do appreciate it, guys. And let's get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of February. I'm going to keep setting the bar high for us, guys, because I think we can definitely get there. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting too much longer here. So let's just get into the video. Can AD get his wish? And what does that have to do with Anthony Davis? Trade talks? Anthony Davis isn't going anywhere. Well, you guys have maybe seen this report from Shams. We did that interview with Anthony Davis. AD saying that, quote, "I think we need another big. I feel like I've always been at my best when I've been at the four having a big out there." So what Anthony Davis is talking about especially is during the championship season when the Lakers had JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard on the team, and they really haven't had any super reliable, consistent, trustworthy big man at the 5 position next to Anthony Davis. Well, since he's been here with the Lakers after that bubble championship season. So they've tried guys like Marc Gasol and Andre Drummond. They got Jackson Hayes right now. Nothing's really worked and really stood the test of time. And so as a result, the Lakers right now sit at 5th place in the Western Conference and very well might be one big move away from really kind of changing the tides of their season. And Anthony Davis thinks that that move is to get a center to pair with him. But here's a report that we just got here a day or so ago from Jovan Buha, who covers the Lakers for The Athletic, has as good of an ear, not only to the Lakers, but has a really good ear around the association as well. He said, quote, "I've heard Turner is about to be an unrestricted free agent, and he's going to want $30+ million, and that's going to be $1 million per year. And I've heard Indiana is not sure if they want to give him $30+ million. I've heard from a league source that Indiana might kind of sneaky be open to trading Myles Turner." So this is the first time we've actually heard that the Pacers might consider trading Myles Turner. Now, this is someone who the Lakers have had their eye on for quite some time. And actually, let's double down here too, because not only have the Lakers had their eye on him, he's had his eye on the Los Angeles Lakers since dating back to 2022. Myles Turner saying here that, quote, "If I'm the Lakers, I take a very hard look at this with the position that you are in, and I know I can provide to a team my leadership, my shot blocking, my three-point ability, and just my ability to make plays out there on the floor. I would take a very long look at it." So Myles Turner said this back in 2022. This is 2025. So this was about 2.5 years ago. There was the reports out there that the Lakers were considering moving Russell Westbrook when he was still here and 2 first-round picks to Indiana for Myles Turner and Buddy Hield. Obviously, that trade can't happen because Russell Westbrook's no longer a Laker. Buddy Hield's no longer an Indiana Pacer. So that deal is out the woodworks. However, that doesn't mean that the Lakers still can't make a move for Myles Turner. And I still do believe that with LeBron James and Anthony Davis there, and I know the Pacers have become a better basketball team since then, that perhaps this move can be had. And we made a video on this same topic a few weeks ago. You guys can check it out if you want. This is more of an updated version of this because now we have the reports out there that the Pacers are actually willing to move Myles Turner. I said I'm not sure this trade can happen because I just don't know if Indiana wants to. This is a team that's playing pretty well. They're in 5th place right now in the Eastern Conference. I wasn't sure this move was even going to happen. But now there's a report out there saying that they're going to consider it. And there's going to be multiple suitors. It's not just going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. But the fact that there's mutual interest in both parties, that's going to make the trade talks a little bit easier for the Los Angeles Lakers, who never get the benefit of the doubt in almost any sort of trade talks. Teams are always going to try to hose the Los Angeles Lakers for the most part. A lot of teams have personal vendettas against LA because of, well, the Los Angeles Lakers. No one wants to help out the Lakers. I would say the Lakers are almost always forced to pay the Laker tax, meaning that they almost always have to pay more for players that other teams maybe perhaps wouldn't want to. But maybe the Pacers, they're not super salty about the 2000 NBA Finals, and they're okay with just making a trade. It's been 25 years since. I think it's fair. But let's also talk about this here, too. So, why is Myles Turner the perfect center next to Anthony Davis? Because Myles Turner is such, and take it for his words, what he just said, he is such a versatile player that his type of game is very unorthodox compared to your average big man in the NBA, but he also does what your average, starting center, and he's an above-average player, but he does what your center should do, and then some. And this is what we mean by that. So if you want to look at what Myles Turner has done this season, oh my God, we can never work these graphics here, guys. As we look at what Myles Turner has done this season, here we go. Nice. There's the stats I was looking for. Myles Turner averaging about 15.5 a game, close to 7 rebounds, 2 blocks a game, shooting 48% from the field, 39% from 3, and he's shooting, making about 2 threes a game too. So it's not like he just has a high percentage and doesn't take a lot. Myles Turner takes a lot of threes, and he makes them at a very high clip, and he's shown time and time again throughout his career that he is a legitimate three-point shooter, not even just for a center, especially for a center, but just as a shooter, period. And so the Lakers get a guy who's about 6'11", 7 feet, who's a very good athlete as well. And I believe he's about 28, 29 years old here. He'll be 29 in, honestly, a few weeks here. So right in the prime of his career as well. And somebody who, like that report said, is up for a contract too. So any team that trades for Myles Turner, whether it's the Lakers or somebody else, they probably will have plans to sign him to a long-term deal. He's asking for about $30 million. I'm not really sure he's going to get that because a lot of teams I don't think are going to have that much money this offseason, it looks like, other than like really bad teams like the Brooklyn Nets and the Washington Wizards that probably aren't going to spend a whole lot of money to begin with. But that doesn't mean the Lakers can't make this move and perhaps come to a solution and something that it will incentivize Myles Turner to want to be with the Lakers. They also would get his bird rights, which is obviously a pretty big thing as well, that they would be able to pay him more money than any other team can in the NBA or wherever Myles Turner ends up, post-trade deadline, whether it's with the Pacers or with a different team. But Myles Turner is extremely productive, and he has a skill set with three-point shooting. He's a really good shot blocker. He's led the NBA twice over the course of his career for 2 different seasons, leading the league in block shots. And you already have Anthony Davis, who's one of the best rim protectors in the league. And we've seen him be really good next to not the same player at all, guys, but prime Boogie Cousins in New Orleans. Him and AD were running so many creative sets with each other that it was super hard for teams to guard. And Myles Turner's not that same player, but he does provide that versatility to really kind of open up the playbook for JJ Redick and the three-point shooting to open up the floor for guys like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, despite the fact that he's a center. But that does bring us to our final point here, guys. Can the Lakers actually make this move? And if so, how can LA pull this off? So, of course, the biggest thing is going to be money. So, right now, looking at Myles Turner's contract here, he is making a little under $20 million this year. So, the Lakers are going to have to, of course, match that. But since they're a first apron salary cap team, the Lakers actually have to give up more salary than they're getting back in return since they are a first apron salary cap team. So the Lakers actually have to give up more than $20 million. Can they get to this number? They absolutely can. They do have the contracts to make this work, as well as the draft compensation to also make this work. If we look at the Lakers payroll here, LeBron, Anthony Davis, we know they're not going to be in the trade. And Austin Reaves, highly unlikely he is too. So they can't trade Dorian Finney-Smith. They can't trade Shake Milton. So what is the next course of action for the Los Angeles Lakers? Who are they realistically going to move? Jared Vanderbilt, obviously, he's back, but I don't think the Pacers are going to want him because he's only played in 12 and a half minutes since this recording. And so Rui Hachimura is going to be the player that the Lakers are going to just have to trade, most likely, unless they gave up Gabe Vincent and like 3 other players. But Rui Hachimura makes $17 million. He's on the books for $18 million next year, which means that he is a movable contract that gets you pretty close to what Myles Turner is making at about $20 million. And this is not a Rui Hachimura diss, but what Myles Turner brings to the table compared to what Rui Hachimura brings to the table, 1, Myles Turner is just a better player, and 2, he's a better fit. Defensively, he's better than Rui. On the glass, he's better. He's a better rim protector, obviously. Now, Rui maybe gives you a little bit better ISO scoring, but at this point, they're really kind of just using Rui Hachimura as a spot-up three-point shooter and a guy who's cutting to the basket and using him in transition. That mid-range game, J.J. Redick has kind of taken that out of Rui Hachimura's game, which is kind of something that really has been a staple since he's been playing basketball back at Gonzaga. So the fact that that part of Rui's game has kind of been taken away in this offense does kind of handicap him. He's had a good season. He's a valuable player, provides a really good scoring punch for this team. This is not just a loss that isn't going to affect the team at all. But I believe what Myles Turner brings is going to be an elevation of what the Lakers need, and therefore is just going to be a better fit and a better player that's going to elevate this Lakers roster. So we look at the rest of the salary cap here on the Lakers payroll, because $17 million for Rui Hachimura is not going to get it done. They're going to need to add one more. And luckily, they have a lot of players that they can do that with. So Jalen Hood-Schifino might be the most obvious one if the Utah Jazz want a young player. Also, the Lakers didn't take his team option, so he's going to be a free agent. They also could give up one of these, expiring vet minimum deals. Christian Wood, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes. Perhaps they would, it probably would be Jalen Hood-Schifino, because look at the money. Cam Reddish and Jackson Hayes actually don't make enough here to match Turner's salary. So it'd almost have to definitely be Jalen Hood-Schifino. It could be Dalton Knecht as well. I doubt the Lakers are going to want to trade him. They're going to probably be very hesitant to trade him. So I think realistically, it could be Rui Hachimura, Jalen Hood-Schifino, probably at least one of those first-round picks, and perhaps a second-round pick as well. I think that's probably what would get it done for the Pacers, because if they think Myles Turner is going to leave, obviously they're not going to give him up for just nothing, but at the same time, too, they get a player in Rui Hachimura who's a solid wing player, who gives them good offense and three-point shooting, and then they also get Jalen Hood-Schifino, who could perhaps be a developmental guy. They have a massive hole at center. Isaiah Jackson, their backup center, is also out for the year, so they're definitely – this is going to have to be a trade where there may even have to be a third team involved, where – or maybe they also give up Jackson Hayes. I mean, that also is possible, too. And the Lakers, give them a backup center instead. And the Lakers can roll with Anthony Davis and Myles Turner. But that's definitely not out of the realm of possibility here. But, the Pacers, again, they don't have to give up Myles Turner. They could let him play out this season. They are 5th in the East, although I do think they are definitely a tier behind those top 4 teams in the Cavs, the Celtics, the Knicks, and even the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't think they're as good as any of those 4 teams. So perhaps they see this and go, Myles Turner's leaving anyway. Let's get a first-round pick back. Let's get Rui Hachimura, who's under contract, and then we can figure out the center position. Or perhaps they're going to ride off into the sunset with Myles Turner, and then maybe he walks in free agency. I'm not quite sure. But the door is slightly ajar for the Los Angeles Lakers to get Myles Turner, who, in my opinion, would be the absolute perfect and maybe the most realistic, best-case scenario at the trade deadline in terms of a player that they can get that can provide an immediate impact and be a really awesome fit and player for this team to help them advance in the Western Conference. Of course, their ultimate goal of winning a championship here. I'm not saying they're the favorites to win the West. I don't think they are right now. But perhaps with a move or two at the deadline, that can really help their chances to get closer to that goal. And again, guys, we reached 5,000 subscribers, and we really appreciate it. But because you guys have set the bar up to 5K, we're going to set the bar even higher. Let's get to 6K subscribers by the end of February. Now, February is a short month. It's only 28 days, but we have a few days to spare here in January. So essentially, we're going to have the same amount of time to reach another 1,000 subscribers. I think we can do it. If you guys want to hop on the bandwagon now, before it's too late, I highly recommend reach that platinum status with this channel. Click that subscribe button because we cover everything here surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers on Lakers Digest.